Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. But before we get started, before we go, and I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy late Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great festive time with your family. Hope you had a great time with your family. Hope you didn't eat too much. Hope you didn't eat too much. You know, I overdid it. I'm doing sit up punches, running in places, and all kind of things, trying to get some of this back up off me. Cause Toy, you with a T, I'm gonna tell you something. I ate too much. Toy, you with a T, I ate too much. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Toy with a T, I ate too much. I ate. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. I'm gonna confess. This is my
Me too.
confession. I ate too
Me
much.
too. Me too. This is my best part of the year. I pig out, and I'm not doing those crunches until the first of the year. Let me tell you something. I love this time of the year because I do my best
Mm-hmm.
to behave myself and eat with caution and care the whole 8-9 months. But
Mm.
Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Yes.
I don't want to hear none of that.
Mm.
All them 30 days, I'm picking out and I'm looking at my two sizes I done gained in the last
Uh-oh.
couple of days.
In the last couple of days, Lord, my Jesus, that's a lot. That's a lot. Tucson, good morning. How you doing this morning, Tucson? That's a lot, man. You gave two sizes over the weekend now. Well, we putting some
Man,
food away.
I can't say nothing. I remember weighing 135 pounds, and I had to go to the doctor, and I was 194.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what, during this season, I'll eat the partridge in the pantry.
God almighty. Look
You
at
better
I
say it,
ain't
Doctor.
running. I'm trying to tell you.
mm.
You better not come down that chimney. You ain't gonna have no milk and cookies. I promise
You
you
better
that.
say it.
So look at here. So
Talk about
basically,
Santa Claus.
so basically, that gingerbread man is not safe.
You ain't safe. I'm trying to tell you, I'm tear him up. Show will. Shoot.
Leonard, what are you?
I'm going old school. I'm gonna lick the bowl.
God almighty, you gonna way on back there. There's a spoon and everything. Captain Leonard, man, look here, man. They talking about eating the gingerbread man and ain't nothing safe. Man, it's Toy you with a T said she gained 2 pounds over the weekend, two sizes over the weekend. Boy, that's it. Look. And I tell you, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I ain't even gonna play with you, Leonard. I ate too much, man. I ate too much. I'm just gonna be honest. I ate too much, man. I really did. Talk to me, Leonard. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Man, look, how was your weekend, brother?
It was fine. We had a good time, chill with family, do what we do.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Now, did you eat too much?
Oh no, I'm not gonna eat too much. I can't afford to. I'm just like drinking. I ain't into the hangover, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, that's
And it don't matter what you eat as long as you burn it off. Burn it off.
mm-hmm.
As long as you burn it off, you good.
Man, look here. And Tucson done sent me a picture, man. This gravy go play. He got Tucson got a sweet potato pie and a half a pecan pie on this plate, man. Cut in half, brother. I was like, Lord, my Jesus. Okay. Tucson, you hurt yourself, man. Look at them greens. Them greens looking good too, boy. I tell you, macaroni and cheese. Toya with a T. I know how you be doing in that kitchen. Did you cook, Toya?
No, I took a break from cooking. I went to everybody else's house and ate.
Oh, okay.
So I got like 4 separate plates over that time. And then plus, my job, they be doing their own little thing. But no, I just did my rounds. I didn't cook. I'm on break this year from cooking.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, everybody need
I'm
a
just
break.
eating this.
Look here, but you didn't. I guarantee you, without a shadow of a doubt, you greased that elbow, though, didn't you? Boy, every time that elbow moved, that mouth fly open.
You already know. That's why I told him. I said that's Thanksgiving is not the only reason why I picked up weight because I work at a top place, and I said every time they move, my mouth fly wide open. That's another reason why I gained a couple of pounds.
Lord, we got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. It's VP out of Connecticut. How are y'all today? Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Good morning. How you doing
Amazon
this morning?
worked me last week.
They worked you last week, brother?
Yeah, Amazon got their money.
Yes, sir.
Wait till
Hopefully
next week.
it puts a smile on everybody's face.
Man, look here, man. You got Christmas coming up, brother. So you think that was rough? You wait. You just wait. Hold on. Keep holding on because it's gonna get rough. It's gonna get rougher. Rougher. Ain't that is that a word? Rougher.
You're gonna make it a word regardless, ain't you?
It's gonna get rougher. So how was your Thanksgiving, brother? How did you eat too much?
Who is that?
Here, so it was actually the first thing.
Hey, VP, you're breaking up on us a little bit, brother. You're breaking up on us. VP, your line is breaking up on us. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had to kick the whole thing for ourselves. And I realized we didn't cook anything green until we sat down.
Good Lord.
So we gave ourselves a super itis. It went the sweet potatoes and stuffing and I got peas and gravy and turkey.
Mm-hmm. Nothing green.
I made up for it yesterday though.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Leonard, I need to know something before we move into our topic for today and our pre-topic for today. Excuse me, Leonard. What is going on in this political world right now? What's really going on? We got a lot of people that's joining us on the app too. I want to say good morning to them as well. Let me do that. Bobby, Happy, Lucky, Don. What's that? Younginess. Okay. Fire. What's that? Tasha. Yeah, and I missed quite a few of y'all. So excuse me if I miss you. It certainly wasn't intentional. Qadir. I'm butchering your name. It is not intentional. I apologize. But good morning to you. Captain Leonard, what's going on in the political world, man? I'm butchering people's names this morning, man.
Of course, I was on vacation. However, the election is tomorrow.
Yes.
People have to make sure they go back to the polls if you have runoffs and things like that going on. Also, you need to be conscious of the fact on where the power in the House and the Senate is going to wind up if you do not go out and continuously vote and return to the polls. Especially these local elections that are having runoffs are closer to you. So they have a bigger effect on how you live each and every day. You know, we have a big one coming up in the city of Atlanta.
A huge one.
Where people need to return to the polls. Don't think that the devil takes a break. Because the devil don't take a break.
Exactly.
So we have to make sure that we're supporting good people in office and holding those people accountable. If you have not reached out to your representatives, something as simple as, hello, my name is such and such. I live in your district and I voted for you. Here's what I expect. Send that email. It takes minutes. So matter of fact, you can send the same email to those representatives on your local, state, and federal level, just to let them know that you're watching them and you're becoming active in your community. And you know, whatever questions that you may have, this is the point where we have to make sure that we continue to put the pressure on those people with agendas that are not in our best interest.
Exactly. Toy, you would have talked to me, and it is a big election that's actually going on here in the Atlanta area. There's a runoff. So, Toy, you would have what do you say to these individuals that say they want to vote, but ain't gonna go out there and do nothing? But they want to be heard. They want to be heard. What do you want to say to them people? They want to be heard. That's a word, you know.
Well, you know, it be like that, and we got to go back. You know, like the reason why they put things and obstacles in the way. It's to keep us from voting. And sometimes some people have very valid reasons, man. We got to think of things from a whole. But we have to keep in mind that every election is important, not just runoffs. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we can't keep allowing our daily living in these states be limited to every 4 or 3 years. Things go on every day. We need to have a way, because we already know the strategic setup of America with the strategic roadblocks with work and polling locations and things of that nature. And I've been brainstorming, because I am one that knows we need to be educated, but we also need to have a campaign on allowing access to it at all points or all days, because this is not just the every 4-year thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of starting a campaign called Know Your Poll.
Come on.
And what we do is we register and communicate an open site, an open website where we can communicate, and we expect our leaders to voluntarily be a part of this and give us the information we need to know, and just have it at the access of our fingertips. And we got to find a way to be able to do this strategically, to allow those that have obstacles, because there are obstacles, let's not act like there's not any, that limit us from going to vote once or twice a period, or let's say 60 days for a 4-year term. No, we have to be more interactive when it comes to spreading the word and allowing access for us, the people, to get in contact with our everyday people and get our voices heard. Because the way we go in there, it's just not working. We got to become more advanced, just like the technology, and we can do it.
And Toy, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm loving that idea that you got, man. Know your polls. I think that's powerful, man. You might want to.
Well, let's get together. Let's get together, yo. Let's get together. You, me, Leonard. Let's all, everybody who wants to be involved, let's get together and see, what we can come up with. Let's do it.
Hey, let's do it. My thing is, you know what I'm gonna say? Let's do it, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's get her done. Let's get her done. VP, what's on your heart, brother? We got the polls, the voting is tomorrow. I'm sure that they have some situations going on in your area as well. So catch us up to speed. What's going on in your area? VP?
We did. My area is pretty cut and dry. We went out and I think Trump hurt this community up here, even for the small elections, because it is a heavily Dominican, Puerto Rican population where I'm at. And when them flags started popping up on people's front porches, like they were really about to do something, I think it hurt the local people, just the Republicans in general. And they're not even terrible. They weren't even running the city bad. But I think with the political climate the way it was and the way news media spend it, people tend to put everybody in the same boat, even though they're not. So we had a lot of young, this time around, a lot of young between the mid-30s and late 20s take over prominent spots in our city to help push the minority view.
Okay.
Which here in Middletown and right next to Hartford is a very strong minority community that doesn't seem to get their voice heard when it comes to transportation, job stability, and things like that. So we have a pretty good core group that's going in there now. I have a friend named Shay Fulton that I actually went through a parent leadership team where we actually go out into communities and figure out how, like my project was for food deserts within our community. Even up here in Connecticut, there's food deserts where we can go 2-3 miles without fresh food being available to low income communities. So we're heard of come up with a route to help, because they were blocking routes from minority communities into these areas. And it still goes on, and people are blind to it. Like they don't see that. I hate using the term white people, but there's people out there that really think they're still superior. They get these rules written in where they get a Whole Foods or a grocery store built in their place, and then they want to give us a Food Lion and hope that the EBT is what works, and it just ain't fair anymore.
Wow. Leonard, what are you hearing? And Tucson, come to you next. Leonard, what are you hearing in that, brother? Because he put a lot out there, man. And I before I even do that, is your area, VP, is it primarily Democratic or Republican?
Oh no, this is a Democratic state.
Okay.
But we have pockets. We got some real strong, like down there in Georgia. What was that town in '89 that didn't want to let black people in? They had a whole riot.
Was that Forsyth County, Leonard?
Forsyth County has been like that.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
We got little counties up here in Connecticut. You wouldn't even believe it. Wouldn't believe it. But they got little counties up there.
Leonard?
Well, it's definitely an issue of politics in a lot of cases. But what is in, like, say, for instance, we have those issues where I remember complaints about grocery stores, for instance, in certain neighborhoods. And one of the things that was perplexing is that these grocery stores were the only grocery stores in walking distance of most people's homes in that area. So they were constantly working with the owner of the grocery store, who you should address your concerns to. 9 times out of 10, the owner of a particular grocery store will try to make changes or what have you, because you're actually their livelihood. If you have a little small grocery store or what have you in your neighborhood, trust me, you're supporting that grocery store.
Yes.
So any action that you choose will get attention. Also, we have to deal with what is it that you want in your neighborhood. We have to get more on that level as opposed to here's what they put here. Private enterprise is private enterprise. That means someone saw a good business venture and that's what they went for. So they opened a grocery store or what have you. One of the best things to do is to motivate maybe a business owner in your neighborhood and come together to come up with some type of collective grocery store. A grocery store created around everyone and getting involved in the community and somehow profiting from that particular venture. Because what will happen is private interests come into your neighborhood because they see a need. And they will build it sometimes how they see it. But you have every right as a consumer not to purchase what they have or to go in and say, hey, this is what's needed. This is what we would like to see. I know we did a lot of things with exposing bad meat and things like that in certain grocery stores. The treatment of individuals, the upkeep of the parking lot, and things like that in certain neighborhoods. You have to be the one in certain neighborhoods to lead that charge, because the business owner will not. The business owner is just there to make money, and as long as you allow them to make money serving you the way they serving you, that's what they're going to do. A lot like an old black club. Okay. Okay, you be there, y'all been there spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for at least 2 generations, and the club still look the same as it looked 20 years ago.
Ain't nothing changed. Exactly.
So when you want more, you have to exhibit that behavior that drives that outcome. If you go, like I say, ain't nothing wrong with picking in a grocery store that ain't serving the community the way it should. Trust me, they're more interested in making money than closing that grocery store.
Exactly. And that's why they open the doors, because they want to make the money.
I remember with one of the grocery stores in the local metro area, the owner was more than willing to come and talk to us about what he could do, because most of his exchanges with people were very heated. You know how it gets. Very heated issues. So there had to be a sit down, say, hey, this is what's going to have to happen going forward. And then we had to let the people understand, this is your neighborhood. Understand what this grocery store means to this neighborhood. So it's better to try to improve it, or go to your city commission meetings and start letting them know they need to do something to attract this type of business to your area. What we do know is that certain grocery stores are not going to build in your neighborhood simply because you're not going to shop there based on the cost.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't expect to see a Whole Foods in an impoverished neighborhood because they can't afford the food.
That's right. I talk to a lot of people where I live. I ain't gonna tell you what neighborhood I live in, but there is a Kroger, and just a little bit down the street on the opposite side of the road, there's a Publix. And I'm not endorsing either one of them, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. Every time I go in Kroger, it look a certain way, but when I go into Publix, man, I don't know who cleaning the Publix and stuff like that, but that Publix is always so neat and clean and tidy. And I'm like, man, but you look at the price stickers, and it does cost a little more to shop at Publix than it does at Kroger. But my thing is, man, it's like they it's almost like a tier up with everything involved, because like I said, public is so much is cleaner, is neater. The people are a little more present themselves, almost like a McDonald's and what's the name of that restaurant everybody love to be fighting with the doggone chicken? Um, Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Papa.
Chick-fil-A. No, like a McDonald's and a Chick-fil-A. It's two different levels. Toya, what did you say to that?
I don't know. You threw me off. What am I saying? Something to you? You said two different levels of what now?
That you got like I think a Kroger and a Publix are two different levels. I think Kroger is a tier, a couple of tiers up, and I made a comparison like a McDonald's and a Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
I think Chick-fil-A, because of the way they do things, the cleanliness of it, the customer service and everything that's involved is
standard.
Yes, exactly. Man, thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to get to. The standard. What do you say to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the standard is the same at Kroger. Mm-hmm. Most businesses, we all have the same standard. It's the execution that's the problem. Mm-hmm. You don't hold people accountable. They're not going to get the standard met. One thing that Chick-fil-A does is that it follows the model and it holds people to the standard. That's the only way you're going to get it done. You cannot play with people in this field. You cannot play with people. If you say, I want this place clean, you got to get it done. And you as the manager got to get it done. Ain't no excuses. Yeah. People don't want to work. You know what that mean? That mean I got to do it. And if I got to do it because you're not here, one thing we ain't going to do is have me and you in the same building.
Yeah, come on.
So, we just don't make sure the standard is upheld. And then we get to these jobs as adults and we don't act like adults. Yeah. Because it ain't clean. Why you ain't cleaned it? Why it ain't your job? You work here 8 hours a day. You want your paycheck. But you want to come up with all these excuses on why it ain't done at Kroger. Right?
Exactly.
But then as soon as the payroll lady come up with an excuse, you don't want to hear it. But over here at Publix, they make sure they hire people that's responsible. And it shows. It's a reflection. It ain't about just what comes in your mouth. People kind of see it. It's something, that we don't take for granted and we don't let go of the standards. So therefore, that's what we're going to maintain, because it's only whatever get by the wayside is only the things that we allow to be acceptable.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. One of my first jobs, Tucson, one of my first jobs, man, where they actually took out taxes on me. I worked before then, but where they took out taxes was McDonald's. And I was there in Greensboro on Summit Avenue. If anybody in the area, you know what I'm talking about. We had a manager there, the general manager there, Carl Martin was his name. And this guy, man, he had a standard. He had a standard about himself back in those days, man. You ain't gonna come to that store. He called it the Mac House. You ain't gonna come to the Mac House, man, and it be dirty and not clean. He said when you pulled up, he said the first thing you're gonna see is a parking lot. So he made sure people stayed in that parking lot, clean that parking lot up, go out there, sweep that parking lot. If you see anything on the ground, make sure you get it. Tucson, he had a standard, and that poured over into me. A lot of young men in junior high school working over there. But he taught me something, man. He taught me that standard. Tucson, how important is it?
Well, if you don't have it, then it's going to reflect. That's it. When you was talking about all that you was talking about, I thought about how before they put a store somewhere, they kind of scan the area. They do a survey. They check it out.
Yes.
And if you can, let's take for instance now, not Dollar Tree, but Dollar General. They putting stores in a certain mile radius, right? But you can go to, and I'm not familiar with the Atlanta area. But if you go to one neighborhood and there's a Dollar General, then you go to another neighborhood that is upscale and it's a Dollar General there. And then you go to a Dollar General that's quote in the hood neighbor. You would find that there's different items that you will find in one neighborhood that you won't find in another. It caters to the people in the neighborhood. But it don't matter. If you don't have the right employees, you're going to suffer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, and it starts with who's I guess would say the manager of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can talk all the noise you want to, but if you don't run that standard down to even the person that cleans the toilet, you can
Mm-hmm.
have a dirty toilet.
Yes, sir.
You can have a nasty parking lot. And if you know, there are some stores that you go in, you walk in, and the best thing you can do is walk out
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it reflects on the type of management they have in
Exactly.
or employee standards. Um, I thought about something else that you covered. Um, Politicians, and we have a lot of young folks
Mm-hmm.
that are more interested than we were in politics. And I always think about one thing: stay away from the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you
Mm-hmm.
find that they good, they motivated, but when they see that money, they go to it
Yep.
and they wind up in jail.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You
Exactly.
you go into jail.
Mm-hmm.
So
Quickly.
anyway, that's what I thought about.
Quickly. Now we got
Yeah.
a pre topic that we're gonna go to before we get to our actual topic for today. We're not gonna stay on this long because I want to hear y'all hard on it. But Toya, I'm coming to you first with this. Um, the way that we are, the way everything is set up in today's time, with our younger generation, with the younger generation that's out there right now. Toya, if we all had to sit down and rely on the younger generation to move us forward, how confident will you be that they're able to do it?
Nervous. I'm nervous. But that doesn't mean it can't be done. You know what I'm saying? Because people act differently under pressure. You understand what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
like kids are not meant to take care of brothers and sisters, but sometimes if something happens to their parents, they got to. The best way is know how, and
Mm-hmm.
they do it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So I really can't call it because I know how that goes, but from hindsight, I'm nervous. It seems
Mm.
like, they don't understand a lot of the detail things that I
Mm-hmm.
think that we got, from our background and how we were raised. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
detail doesn't necessarily mean that they can get the job done because these young people are also with undergoing. I mean, they're like dealing with some things like that we never experienced too.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like I can't take away the strengths from them because really we are the leaders of this. They trickle down from us. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? We dropped the ball and that's why some of them are in the situation that they in. But that same strength, knowing how we were and our parents were nervous about us too, and we made it through, I know they're gonna make it through.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, how confident are you in the young generation? All of us had to sit down and just really relied on the younger generation, the younger group out there to move us forward, are they prepared, Leonard?
Well, I mean, it really depends on what you expect them to do.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
mean,
good.
I'm not sitting around here worried about young people gonna do. I'm just not. I'm because I'm too busy doing what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Young people ain't got a whole lot of responsibilities,
Okay.
and they're developing, and
Mm-hmm.
and they're learning things as they go. Hopefully, they
Mm-hmm.
take advantage of the knowledge that's already there for them.
Okay.
But I'm that type of person. It believes in each one taking responsibility for themselves
Mm-hmm.
and how they're going to behave and what they're going to do, what they are about. Now, that soulless generation that we're dealing with, that's a different issue.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm.
inhumane part of our community,
Uh-huh.
that's an issue. So
Mm.
we have to really deal with the value they have in themselves first.
Okay.
I think that's first. The value that they have themselves. And to
Mm-hmm.
be able to sort out all this foolishness that's going on is what is important. Because each person should have a desire to survive
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and live at a certain level of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as simple as that seems, you have to find out what these young people desire
Mm-hmm.
and what value Now I remember when certain behavior was shameful,
Absolutely.
and now it's
Absolutely.
not.
It's the norm pretty much.
Right. So when you lower standards, these people that you raised under these low standards can only exhibit what they've been taught.
That's good. That's good.
So it's we be looking around like we don't know what happened, and you know exactly what happened. The
Then we
moment you started believing that, first of all, you don't need two-parent households. That's one. You did not need God any longer.
Come on.
And everybody has their own truth. That's what has destroyed the black community.
Wow. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. Give us a call. We're asking the question right now. Do you have confidence in the younger generation? If all of us quote unquote old heads, seasoned individuals had to just sit down and let the young generation guide us, do you have confidence that they will be able to guide us in a good or a pleasant or a good place, if you will, lack of a better term, a good place? Toussaint, what do you say to that? Can they lead us?
Yeah, I say they would. If they listen. If they listen, we don't have no problem with them. And that's some. Some don't give young folks a chance, but they're brilliant. And they're advanced. See, you can't operate with a horse and carriage mentality.
Yes.
It ain't gonna work.
Exactly.
But these young folks, you watch them, you observe them, and grab hold to them. They'll grab hold to this technology that we have and this advanced information that we have, and they soak it up like sponges.
Hey, Toussaint, isn't there somewhere where it says that technology will make us wiser and weaker or something to that effect?
It ain't nothing wrong with technology. It's how you use it. I mean, you can utilize anything and make it positive or negative.
Okay.
You notice, you take this for example. When you have tragedy in your area and you start getting people involved, people who draw together when there's a tragic situation that goes on. They automatically get together and they bind. When we had, I got an echo. Somebody echo. I got an echo.
Okay.
When we had Katrina here, you had rich folks and poor folks gathering together because they was on the same level ground.
Yes.
None of us had nothing. I had 5 foot of water in my house.
Good Lord.
The beach houses were in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm talking about literally in the Gulf of Mexico.
Good
because
Lord.
all they had was slabs. So they lost and I lost. You know what happened? We was in the same line. None of us could go to the ATM and get no more than $300 out. Okay, so we was even, and we start pulling together.
Yes.
But you know what happened? Somebody came in and they start scamming folks. So technology is not a bad thing. It's who utilizes it. And we get messed up. But these young folks are brilliant. You check it out. If you look at it, the things that goes on positive, they're involved. But we put more emphasis on what's negative about them. And we make them feel like we can't communicate with them and they can't communicate with us. So they know what they say about us. Look at you.
Exactly.
In different words.
Exactly. Good deal. Let me see. We got we got to take the brother off this here. We got Charles and two or three different windows here. Okay. Let me go to my phone line, and then Charles, I'm coming right back to you. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Shamika.
Hey, Shamika. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Hey,
Both of you.
hey, doing good, doing good. Shamika, let me ask you a question. Now, if we had to sit down, if we all had to sit down, people of a certain age had to sit down and rely on the young people to move us forward. How confidence do you have in them that they will be able to move us forward in a positive direction?
I don't. I mean, I know it's some kids that are really out here making a difference. They're excelling academically. But where are the ones that are showing that they could be the next leaders?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen that yet. Why haven't we brought children to the forefront that can actually lead?
Mm-hmm.
Al Sharpton not gonna always be here. The Reverend Jesse Jackson is not gonna always be here. We have lost a lot of great leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's none out there, but I haven't seen them yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I'm
Do
sure it's on somewhere, but I need to be able to see who is gonna be on this battlefield line
mm-hmm.
next.
Mm-hmm. Who's gonna make that difference? Who's gonna be that
Who's
voice?
going to make that difference?
Yeah.
Because I do know it's some youth out here with some strong, powerful voices.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
now it's time for them to come to the forefront. I'm proud to see that a lot of parents are starting their children off young with being entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm glad to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see that. I'm glad when I could watch social media and I could see young men graduating from prestigious colleges,
Mm-hmm.
not just HBCUs, but colleges that like Harvard, Yale, whatever. I love our HBCU colleges, but when I could see them go to those colleges that people never thought black
Mm-hmm.
would be able to go to and graduate from, and they're excelling above classmates. I love to see that. I love to see the young men that are becoming doctors out here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
nurses, whatever it may be.
Yes.
So I'm loving what I'm seeing. And a lot of when you see those pictures posted, I mean, you sit back and smile.
Exactly.
Now I need to see in social media those coming out standing for social justice
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and equality out here in the community. And I'm sure it's some, but I'm ready for people to start showing the faces of the generation
Mm-hmm.
that will be able to lead.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Hold 1 second. I want to go to my brother right here. Charles, good morning. How you doing this morning?
What up, brother?
Charles, I'm asking you the same question, brother. Are you confident if old heads had to sit it down for a minute? Turn your volume down just a little bit, Charles. Turn your volume
Turn 'em
down
up.
just a little bit. Turn your volume down just a little bit to get a little feedback from you.
Is
Okay.
that cool?
Yeah, that's a little better. But listen, if old heads had to sit down, man, and rely on the younger generation to move us forward, how confident are you in that they will be able to do that?
I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of agree with the what the caller just said. But how can I mean move when you say move us forward?
In a
You mean
positive
like
direction.
move us as in like in American blacks or
Now,
just American?
America as a whole, are you
Okay,
confident that they're going to move us forward?
like America as a whole? Yeah,
As a
yeah,
whole,
I
yes,
believe,
sir.
yeah, yeah. If it's, I believe they can, man. I
Mm-hmm.
think because one thing is a big movement. Um, with blacks and whites waking up and understanding, and these are the kids understanding who the enemy is. That separation is the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to separate everybody and put everybody in these um, subclasses when you're an American. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe a lot of blacks and a lot of whites and Asians, young people and Spanish young people are waking up and seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to be like she was saying. You have to be fair and just.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Evil is evil and good is good. Um, once us as men step up, and this is us as men step up and make sure our boys and girls are being raised, by the father, and the father is in the house or around the house. We all knew that it was always better then, whether we agree or not. A fact is a fact. The numbers don't lie. I believe the young kids, the young generation, will do a great job, man. I think they will. I think they're ready. They're showing themselves.
What's holding them back, Charles?
What's holding them back?
Yes. In this time, what is actually holding them back where they're not taking the forefront? Do you think some of the old heads need to just sit down and let them and pass the baton, if you will? Do you think that's a part of it?
I mean, I don't never think that ever happened before ever. See, even when you're looking at you don't pass the baton on things like that. It just happens, people die off and ideas die off and people grow. So our job is not to hand the baton over. Our job is to make sure that they're being taught certain things. Make sure the father's there and they're being taught these things. I think these kids are ready, man. I really do. There's a lot of them out there, in our community alone, Black community, that are waking up and understanding how politics works, how to get ahead with politics, things like that, man. They're learning. I think they're ready, man.
Okay, good deal. Let me go to VP, and we're gonna hit VP, and then we got Rico. We're gonna go to Rico. VP, what's on your heart? VP, what do you say to that? VP, are you there? Hold on, I think I muted VP's line. Hold on, because he has some background noise going on. Let me unmute him. Okay, VP, can you hear me now? VP, you there? Oh, hold on. Let me unmute the brother. Yeah, he's probably.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now. There you go.
Okay. Man, you put me on the force mute. Time out. Yeah. No, I agree with a lot of the panelists on here. Depends on how you look at the young generation. Because I think when you think young, a lot of people think still teens and 20s. But I would say the young generation is between 30 and 50 right now. A young generation is taking civilians to the moon before NASA and a government will. This generation has allowed imagination to grow without the limitations of an older generation feeling that they had to have that control on everything, or a sense of patriotism is what makes this country grow, and it's not. It's starting to really show the capitalism or capitalistic mindset that they tried to put together in the 70s and 80s is starting to fall apart. And the young generation is the ones that's going to be able to balance that. It's hard for older generation that grew up in this to not believe in it. But if you were to go to your old neighborhood from 30 years ago and you look at it now, it's going to show what capitalism did to it and how it's not thriving like it was promised. Young generation is what made Black Lives Matter important. When there was an older generation that told us to sit down and count our blessings. I think the old generation is a problem with people like Kyle Rittenhouse, who have a feeling that they have something to protect when there's really nothing out there to protect because they don't own anything.
Okay.
I think people forget that Moses had to die off before you can go into the promised land.
Wow.
Because a lot of people think they have the answer, and even though God's telling you what to do, you do your own thing, and you're hurting the new generation that needs to see what something different looks like. So I think we have to be careful when we say a young generation, because a lot of people were young too, with their own ideas and their own aspirations of how they felt the world could be better. And if you stunt that by thinking that young just because you want to put young on them, because there's a lot more younger billionaires and millionaires out there than there are older ones. So they must be doing something right in this world that we are in today. They may not be doing what they need to be doing in the old world or the old traditions, but what's going on to now is working perfect for them.
Exactly.
And if we slow down just a little bit and listen, maybe we'll be able to jump on that and get some of the same
overflow or abundance that they're starting to see.
That's good. That's good. Got a caller going to come to you in just 1 second. Caller Rico, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain. Grand rising to everybody.
Hey, Grand Rising to you as well, brother. I need to ask you the question, man. The young generation, if all the old heads, all the seasoned individuals had to just sit down and rely on the younger generation to move us forward in a positive direction. When I say us, I mean everybody across the board. The young generation has the steering wheel. How confident are you that they're able to move us, that they're equipped to move us in a positive direction?
They are equipped to do it, but I'm slightly confident that they can. Now, if I had to base it off of what I saw in mainstream media, I would be less optimistic. You know, but I think when you take mainstream media out of it and you look at the true reality of what's going on in the communities and around the world, you have more courageous young people now. More young people that aren't afraid to step up and speak out and call people out. You know, some of the things that they're speaking out on and making the world aware of are things that have been known for years, but it didn't get passed down properly through generations or through family members the way that it should have. So now we're living in so many areas of our lives we're living dysfunctionally, and sooner or later you have to find a way to get back in order. When you are out of order, you're gonna correct yourself. And so now I think we're at that time now where we're seeing generations that are born into this world and they're seeing things that are normal, like men marrying men and women marrying women. Sooner or later they're gonna think to themselves, wait, we can't sustain life like this too much. You know, you have the mainstream media that promotes a different image, and it would make you think we have something to worry about because we have this new generation that has a lot more access to technology. And in some ways that can be a good thing, and then in some ways it could be a bad thing because, you know, some don't like to research or struggle. They like everything fast. And so you know, in the process of this going on, that lifestyle, they see things out of order. They see injustice in the justice system and they're asking questions. Why is it still like this? You know, they're asking the same questions I asked when I was young. I'm seeing it on a larger scale now. People are asking the same questions that I asked when I was young. It make me feel like sometimes I was born before my time. But they're asking those same questions and they're doing something about it because they know it's dysfunctional. So they have the courage and they I'm gonna say the mainstream, they lack respect for the elders, but in the general population and the reality of the true foot soldiers, they respect the elders because once they find out, like right now, they look at the households and they see Leonard brought that up about the family in the Black community, how the household is so different now. You don't see that structure with the mother and the father the way you used to. For some of them, that's normal. They look around and they see that all their friends got 5 or 6 brothers and sisters, and all of them got different fathers. But then all of a sudden, when they get interested in following their family trees and their lineage, they start seeing mothers and fathers that were together through death. Mothers and fathers that had 13 and 14 children, and all of them had the same father, same last name. You know, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents that had that structure and that consistency. And that 85% marriage rate that happened in Black communities now that's dwindled down to 15%. They see this and they know something is not right. So 1 + 1 start equaling 2, and they start doing something about it. Now, do they cut us out the picture? If they have sense, they don't, because now they realize that we have something within us that they don't know about that sort of caused that family structure to go into a demise or get derailed the way that it did. So on the minor side of things, not in the mainstream, but on the less recognized side of life and culture, you have those people that have that momentum to get us on track. And I think I have a lot of faith in them. I just worry about the Cardi. I just worry about the Cardi B's that get to sit down with Joe Biden.
Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, this is Cassandra.
Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, how confident are you that the young generation will be able to move us forward in a positive direction? If all the seasoned individuals had to sit it down and just rely solely on the young generation, can they do it?
I don't think so. Um, I hate to say that because we have some wonderful young people that are out there doing some amazing things, but their mindset is not what it should be in order to correct a lot of, not even half of the things that are going on. Yes, they're wiser, but the Bible says that they're weaker.
Yes.
And the older people, we're the ones that should be teaching them and helping direct them. Okay, this is the mistakes we made. This is what we tried to do, even though we were for the whole way. But now you guys have the technology and the other things that you need to make this happen. But right now their headset, they're just not there. I think mentally, And I think I've told this story before, really quickly. We were at a march downtown, and I mean, it was like probably about 6,000 people there, and there were SELC that I'm with. We were speaking, and we had a group of Black Lives Matters young people that was speaking. And this guy walked up, and I mean, we were together. We were saying what we need to say, doing we say. And this guy walked up, and he said, "Why don't y'all old heads, sit down? Because y'all don't want to do what we'll do. We'll get the job done." And he was talking about violence.
Yes, yes.
We'll get the job done because we can handle these like blah 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 blah. And and we had to step up. I actually spoke to him and said some things, and then the crowd went like, "Oh man, you man, you hear what that lady said?" You blah, blah, blah. And why would you have to do that? Why should there have to be that type of exchange? Because you don't respect us, because you feel like we're old and we don't know any better. We're old and we made it this far because we knew something. We knew how to stay alive in order to be. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
So I think that the young people today, there's a huge lack of respect on many of their parts for older people, and they don't want to hear. They feel like they know it all, and no one knows it all. I don't. You don't. Nobody knows it all. We need help. We need the wisdom from each other. That's all I got to say.
Wow, that's huge right there. But my question is, how did we get here? And another caller, we're going to go to that caller. So, Cassandra, give me your quick version. How did we get here?
I agree with several. I only heard a few people, but a few of the people that I heard talked about the family structure. I believe that with all my heart, the lack of the Black man in his household. And whose fault is that? I mean, we can put it on other people, but nobody can make you walk away from your family. Nobody can make you walk away from your children. So I believe that once the Black man started walking out of the households, there was an issue.
Wow. We got another caller. Before we go to that caller, I'm gonna go to Leonard. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh, I'm just listening because I'm not looking for a leader. That's one. But I think that people need to understand that times change. So one, when it's funny that Miss Cassandra would bring that up, because if you're willing to die, let's push them to the front of the line. Let's push them to the front of the line and let them do what they think is the right way to do. And then they will have to revisit what they choose to do. You don't allow unexperienced people to lead you anywhere. They need to be surrounded by a group of people who can fully communicate. Okay, first of all, where you going? Because how these young people going the same direction you going?
Come on, say it.
Why would you take that? Why would you even believe that? People are progressing, and that's why it's so hard. You can't continue to tell free people slave stories and expect them to buy in to your agenda. Because one, you don't understand, or you don't want to understand progress. and how it's made. There's progress on various fronts.
Mm-hmm.
Economically, definitely progress. The economic progress is pushed by people who have a desire to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And you, like,
Exactly.
I'm looking at my son right now. My son may be travel interspace.
Mm-hmm.
I may not, but he may do that.
Mm-hmm.
There
Yes.
are some people that just want to own businesses and live comfortably. They're not even concerned about reparations or anything
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. There are, like, say, for instance, the law was created for people who break it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
so one, you have to operate with that thing. Who am I going to be? See, I never had a desire to be a bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to check those who do.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
this is the problem. We see what young people do. We see how they handle things. We see that they overreact very quickly out of emotion, and before you know
Mm-hmm.
it, it's gone and they're on to the next.
Yep.
Just like with children. I'm gonna make some
Mm-hmm.
here, then I'm going to the next. I'm gonna make some here, then I'm gonna make some here, then I'm going to the next. So this
Mm-hmm.
is not something we should be trying to follow. You should not be trying to follow young people at all.
Mm-hmm.
You should make sure that they going in the direction that you want to go, first of all. And then you share your wisdom with them if you have any. But just because
Mm-hmm.
you old don't mean you have no wisdom. You may have seen a lot, but you might be dumb as a brick.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So you can't you don't have the skills or whatever to tell anybody anything except for maybe your own children who know
Mm-hmm.
you, who understand your value. To them, like, you have a lot of people, young people will tell you off, give you a piece of their mind, and can't pay rent. That do not go together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That just don't go together.
Exactly.
So we have to change that mentality and be leaders of ourselves in our own lives, doing those things that benefit as opposed to operate to our detriment.
Exactly. Exactly. Toya, what a T, talk to me. And I think we got Curtis. We're gonna go to Curtis next. So Curtis, be on standby. Toya, what a T, what's on your heart, sis?
Well, no, yeah, it's right. This is a cycle that can't look at them without looking at us. I was telling my mother the other day. I said, "Remember, your mama told you that your kid gonna be 10 times worse than whatever you is when you was younger." I
Mm-hmm.
said, "So when I think about how you was, I just know you 10 times less than what I was, and that's not even including the things that you have no idea that I could have gotten myself into."
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
again, we got to think about we were once kids. Not all kids are the same. Yes, some kids are destructive, but absolutely, just like at work, right? When we adults start to allow the kids to run something, like Leonard said, they're inexperienced. Why am I gonna listen to you? You could get some options, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get to dictate things that are out of order. Oh, well, continuously, being late or just not doing your job, or I just can't work. No, that's not how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the
Mm-hmm.
adult, y'all are the workers, but not only that, just because you're young don't mean you get to negate responsibility
Yes.
because of your youth. That don't mean you get to negate business because of your youth. It doesn't mean you get to negate the wrong or right things, especially if an adult is in the building because of your youth. You can get
Mm-hmm.
angry or whatever, and I think a lot of us have given that away. Because a lot of how it sounds like to me, adults are scared. Oh, I don't fool with no kids because they killing you these days. You will never have to worry about that coming out my mouth. Not with nobody younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Exactly.
Who you
Exactly.
gonna kill who? Boy, you can make me take my belt off and spank your butt talking about killing somebody. And
Mm-hmm.
it comes from us adults, and we really have to, get this thing back in line, reclaim our responsibility, and again start informing them of what structure is, the whys, the apologies, and signs of empathy. But again, they don't have no choice, and just like we made it, they're gonna make it despite what we think.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Good deal. Good deal. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Morning, right here. Morning, family. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, brother. Asking a question, man. Everybody's season had to sit down, and we had to really rely on a younger generation to move us forward and to move us forward in a positive direction. Kurt, how confident are you that they can do it?
How come the what?
How confident are you that the young generation could move us forward in a positive direction?
I'm confident that they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confident that they can do that. If I had any lack of confidence, it would probably be in their effectiveness to sustain the move.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe they could do it? Doggone right. They're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They doing it. Like I mean, they're not doing it as clean and as classy as we would do it. And a lot of that has to do with, I heard some of my folks talking about choices. And I'm a strong and firm believer in us having choices, and it's all up to us what choices we make.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But our younger, when you switch the game the way that folks have switched the game over the years, the goalposts always move. So with us, our choices, for the most part, was denied. So there's the choices are presented, but those very same choices that they have to make appears in this day and time to come with a clause or an addendum.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could do it, man. I really do. I hate to take a few bad apples and equate them to being the whole barrel of apples.
The whole bushel. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's far from the truth.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
We got a generation that has taken what we were asking for and just said, to me, in my opinion, just said, I ain't gotta ask you for that.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna give me that, or I'm gonna take it.
Wow.
So it's like you got a generation of Stokely Carmichaels.
Good deal. Good deal.
Generation believe more in Malcolm X
and
the guidance of Malcolm X than they do the guidance of Dr. King.
Okay. Let me get the phone number 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Rico, talk to me, brother. We got a caller. We come to you next.
As time goes on, the population is always going to increase. But in some of the things where we have had more positive, I'm going to say numbers, that might decrease. So we might have less people in the human race that will stand up for human rights and social progress. We might have less people that's willing to stand up to protect the earth for the future, about the future generation. And who knows, you might have more. But the thing is that they have no choice but to. But like Curtis said, are they doing the right things to be sustained? See, I think what I realized, one thing is that with this evolution, you have to be able to adapt.
Yes.
As an older person, you have to be able to adapt. I mean, imagine if we were still trying to be social activists in the community, but we were only using pagers and rotary phones. We wouldn't be able to do it. We wouldn't be able to keep up. So, they have an advantage with the technology. Somebody brought that up earlier. And we would have to actually be just as well informed with this new technology to be able to continue what we're doing, or we'll get left behind without even trying to get left behind. We'll get left behind because technology is surpassing us.
Mm-hmm.
So you asked earlier what happened. We got distracted. You know, in the process of us keeping up with this new technology and new time and trying to chase the American dream, we got distracted. We started having different values. So I heard Cassandra say earlier that, you know, in the past, a lot of black men walked out the home, but, you know, we have to realize is that was an agreement between a man and a woman sometime, because the government told somebody, if you come up here, I give you something if you take that nigga out that house.
Mm-hmm.
If you take that sorry black man out that house, because evidently he ain't no good, because you need these benefits, and you want to come from Mississippi and come to Chicago to the big city, come on.
Mm-hmm.
But leave them kids pappy at home.
Mm-hmm.
He's a sorry, shipless, worthless something. So some of the men were like, you know, some good men said, well, look, baby, they're giving you an opportunity that they won't give me. They're giving you a few more benefits, and it just ain't happening right here in Mississippi or Alabama. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work this little money, get this little money on this farm, sharecropping, and I'm gonna send you on up there to Chicago, and you sign up for these benefits, and I'm gonna come back up there later on, and then I get me a good job. Remember how good times look? That even went on in the 70s. You see how good times look. So you know, they get there, and then they find out you can't stay here, baby. The kids sure wish you could be in here at nighttime. I saw a documentary about how that went down in Atlanta. And it was funny, man, because it was in black and white. And when I looked at the documentary and saw what was going on, and it was talking about the single mothers and the children running around now without any supervision, and the older guys coming over there taking advantage of them, I thought I was looking at something from the year 2000. It had to be 1970, maybe 1969. And that problem was already going on. So, you know, we evolved in the process of trying to attain certain benefits or get access to certain things. Even if it wasn't benefits that they had to give, it was still a certain way of life that humanity has chased that distracted everybody. They made everybody more selfish, self-indulged on their own success instead of group success. So,
Exactly.
you know, we got distracted, and the younger generation, they knew it. So they asked these questions. Why are there nuclear weapons all over the planet? We're earthlings. What if there was life on other planets? Why would they deal with us when we trying to kill each other? How you gonna war with people that are the same as you? What is going on this planet for y'all to be at odds that much to where you want to destroy each other, but you come from the same soil?
Exactly.
So I mean, the younger generation realizes that something ain't right.
Something certainly ain't right. VP, what's on your heart, brother?
Hey, I think Rico hit it, but Curtis said what I was thinking when he said this is a generation that's on the Malcolm X style, where they're more we will take that. To me, and I'm still sticking with younger generations between 30 and 50. This we're more educated than the previous generation. Not that they weren't educated, but now with the room to grow and to explore not just horticulture or agriculture type career fields or hospitality career fields, or we got people in science, and we got people that's in the background of media and entertainment that's pushing more towards, and even though a lot of the more brighter of this generation seem to push more of a homo agenda, and that's not trying to sound negative, but that's what it is, a homo agenda, then it does get askew. And then you say, oh, I can't follow that pattern. But I think, and I don't want to say that, but I think or make it sound like that, but I think a lot of people on the call are trying to bunch young people all up to one thing. Barack Obama was a young man when he became president. If you think he was an old head, then you're looking at it wrong. Michelle Obama is a very, very young woman who's a key figure for a lot of these people out there. Before Dick Cheney got in
on President Bush and ruined his whole campaign. Bush had a very, very open, although he kind of, they say he cheated for the election, but he had a very wide open door to change the nation however he needed to. But, you know, war and all that made it look worse. And that was a young president. You remember, Raheem, when Obama got elected, and then after when the 2 years came in 2010, and Dick Cheney Mitch McConnell and somebody else stood in front of national TV and said, we're going to make President Obama a one-term president.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like on this phone call.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying no matter what you do, you still young to me, and I don't care what ideas you got to bring. Because we know how the world's going to work. But that's only for the old people to hold on to. We've noticed that some of these super congressmen now these are old people. Super congressmen they're holding this nation back. But yet we're saying young people don't know how to run it, but old people don't know how to run it either. We shut down government agencies because we don't know how to say we want to take care of healthcare properly. Shut down we're taking meals out of millions of people's mouths. We're sending people to work for free because old people don't want to agree with young people on how to take care of healthcare, and they dying of health problems.
Wow.
You better tell them.
Money.
Wow. That's a lot there, brother. You put something out there that time, man. Definitely powerful. Toussaint, what's on your heart? And we got K with the EK. I'm coming to you next. Toussaint, what's on your heart? Donald?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. I just, it's like we send them out there and tell them what needs to be done, singing "We Shall Overcome," and they're like, "When?" And we don't give them more instructions. This, you know, it's not their fault that we're in this predicament. It's ours. Or maybe who come before us. But we've been singing the same song and talking about ain't nothing wrong with marching. But when the march is over, why is there a riot? I don't know. It's like we want them to be smart, be educated, but shut your mouth because we know. And here's the thing that I can speak about because I see it all the time. Let's take, for instance, and I'm going to use this only because this Christian, just for the sake of reasoning. Look at our churches. Old preachers don't never retire. Retire for what? To hand down. You sit with a younger person that says they're called into the ministry, and you give them absolutely no guidance. Not all pastors, but for the most part, all they want them to do is bring them their Bible and wipe their face. With no instructions. Don't teach them how to have pulpit etiquette. And that's the same way with politics or on the job. You send them out on the job, and you got somebody that already know how to do it. And then when that person misses work, nobody know nothing. Because you don't train the whole crew to do everything. You just we got somebody to receive. We got somebody that know how to do the books. We got somebody we already know. That's my job. And we got people that's on jobs and in positions that they say, I'm the one that do that. So when the young person comes in and they have and like they said, they have a kind of Malcolm X. I'm not asking you to give me anything. If you don't give it to me, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
But we have this thing say we want to be and I'm not talking about promote violence, but we look at a violent society and we go there with with a cylinder banner in our hand. Say, I'm waiting for you to give it to me. They're not gonna give you anything.
Exactly.
You know what the American dream is, and I'm gonna shut up. A nightmare.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
It's actually a nightmare. Perpetrated by Pharaoh, and we're crying out, but we don't. We're like we don't want to. You shut your mouth. You don't want to make. I heard one preacher say, you don't want to make them folks mad. What did you just say?
I don't need to be. I don't need to be sitting there. I don't need to be sitting there, bro.
Exactly. That's how the young folks are. They're not waiting for nobody to give them anything, really. And they're looking at us begging for bread with the society giveaway stuff more than they utilize.
Wow.
So I don't know. We put our young folks down, and I say it again. They say the heck with y'all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. K with the E. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Well, good morning, you all. I'm blessed.
Good to have you, sister. Good.
And y'all know I got a whole different outlook on that.
Okay, let's talk about it.
22 grandkids. My grandbaby will be 16 December the 24th. She's been working for IHOP. She took a little break. We went out of town. She came back and said, Mom, I want to go back to work. And she goes to work. She knows what to do with her money. And it all depends. It's the family. When we was raised with a village, they got to start that again. And it comes from upcoming. You got to upbring them. If you upbring them, like they say, you bring them up in the church, they'll stay away, but they'll come back. You got to bring them up right. Because I got grandkids, and I'm bringing them up to go to work, get a job. If you want something, you got to work for it. Nobody's going to give you nothing. If they give you something, you got to jump through the hoops and all kind of stuff. But if you go to work and you know you punching that time clock, you don't have nothing to say. But at the end of this, at the end of the paycheck, is my hours correct? That's it, and that's all. They go to work. Every last one of my grandkids got a job. They can go to work.
Exactly.
And even the little ones call me. They get a job through me. Can we come clean your yard up? Sure, come on. They even got money.
Exactly.
The youngest one, 4 years old. I think she got $100 and some. I said, "What you doing with all that money?" She said, "I've been saving it." I said, "Okay."
Yeah. That's what it is.
Going shopping. She's going shopping with her money. She's been saving. Every time somebody give her some money, she don't need to buy nothing. She's 4. She's been putting it in this little pinky tank that she's been having since she was 4 months.
That's good.
So it's an upbringing. I got young people around me. I got homeless people around me that come and knock on my door and clean my yard. They clean my yard better than people with lawn service.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So it all depends on what you put out there. I got to change it up. They call this a movie called Change the Game. You got to change the game. You got to be smarter than the young people because they ain't been here before. I have.
Exactly. Good deal. We got quite a few people that's actually on the line. As a matter of fact, I think Badger just called in. Badger, you there? Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Yeah, man.
What's on your heart, brother? Can them young people?
Topic.
Yeah. Can them young people move us forward? Do you have confidence in them?
I wouldn't say that's my hope. The only issue I see is is the generation before them being responsible enough for them. You know, there are those of us that are doing our best to do what we can, make sure the road is bright as possible for our younger ones. And then there are more so of the other ones that they're not changers. They're just they're sheeple. And me being in the gaming world, you know, I talk to a lot of the younger generation and stuff. And one of the conversations we've been having lately is on the topic of why so many of the younger generation dislikes and has, I think the word's animosity, perhaps.
Yes.
That might be a word. Toward, you know, people that are like 10 years plus older than them. You know, after all the stuff they see on social media and all this other stuff, you know, some of them are totally oblivious of what's really going on. But the ones that are aware are looking at us like we're idiots.
Wow.
For allowing it to go on for so long. Wondering why, you know, we get all the way up to, you know, into the 1960s and things like that, and these people are fighting and things and so on and so on, and it seemed like for 20 years everyone just came to salute whenever someone put something on the media, you know, on the news channel, and yes, we'll obey, we'll do nothing else, you know. So I got asked many questions, you know, about what a lot of us are trying to have done, or which I introduced them to this channel and stuff, this radio podcast and stuff like that. And they think it's absolutely amazing because they didn't think, you know, there are people like us out there.
Exactly.
Because their introduction was just people that were lazy and not trying to do anything for the betterment of human beings or nature or anything else on the planet.
Wow, that's good.
And that's something else that we need to. That's why the community thing, I feel, is also very vital for the human race to become better. As long as we stay separated, it ain't going to change.
It ain't going to change. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, we got a lot going on this morning. Let me go to Cassandra. We're going to transition over to our topic of the day. But right now I want to go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I hope that I did not sound like I don't think that there are any young people that could take us forward, because I work with a lot of young groups, you know, fighting for change. And there are some amazing young people out there.
Absolutely.
There's a young lady, Breanne Robinson. That girl right there. I mean, this child could be president. She's in her 30s, early 30s, but she is moving and shaking. She's using the legislative route as well as marching, because I don't believe just marching changes anything. We know that laws have to be changed, and this child is doing both.
Yes.
And she's being very effective. And now she's getting a name around the country. People are actually, you know, flying her places to talk about, you know, what her plan is and what she'd like to see done. And I believe that young people like that give me hope that things can be different, but it's not enough of them that have that type of mindset that we have to do it through legislation. They feel like brute force is going to change it. It's not going to do it. I may be wrong, but I don't believe that, you know, being violent is going to change it. Now, if we have to fight, I'm in. If that's the only way that we can do it, but I believe that we can do it through legislation.
Exactly. Leonard, what do you say to that, man? Is the foot through the door the right mindset?
You know, it's I have to put things into perspective, because the collective may not be as collective as you think it is. And when you say foot in the door, and we're not that monolithic of a people to believe that it's all going to be okay and we all going to be kumbaya. No, that's really not the picture I see for the future. I see people doing what is absolutely necessary for their own survival, to be the best that they can be. Because what I am not going to do, I am not going to stop going forward for you to get a bright idea.
So are you saying individual? Are you saying as individuals?
Yes.
Okay.
Good individuals come together to go in a good direction. Like-minded people do this. Other people don't.
Yes.
So first of all, we have to move beyond race.
Okay.
When we're talking about a vision for the future. Because people are succeeding, people are doing well, they are thriving, they are living abundant lives. They don't have to hear your story of woe is the Negro. So you have to, they eat from a completely different table.
Yes.
But see, you have our people fought for opportunity. That was their fight for opportunity. Now that you have opportunity, you still got your fight against racism. But what about the opportunities for you to be a better person?
Come on.
I don't. One thing I don't usually get involved with, like when I'm hearing about prison reform and things like that. Yes, I'm a person that'll help fix the system and the institutionalized racism. But it's you who have to make the choice on how you're gonna live your life. I don't want to be your daddy. I don't want you to live your life like I live my life. I'm not interested in being your daddy for no earthly reason. I want you to have the opportunity to choose what you want, even if it's to your detriment. So if you make a bad choice, you ought to suffer for that. You ought to suffer enough to change your direction. You
What is
ought
the
to be
rebound?
able to.
What is the rebound?
What you mean the rebound?
You say if they make a bad decision that's to the detriment, what is the rebound from that?
To do what's right. You don't want to do the right thing. That's why you wind up in these situations. I don't care what situation you're in. I can guarantee you played a part in where you're at. You know, I can hear a person, well, you know, the system, but what about what happened before you decided to get involved with the system?
Yeah.
Was you about selling dope? Was you about prostitution? What were you doing before you got arrested? If you were doing such great, it's the system's fault. The system didn't catch you doing what was right. No, they didn't catch you doing what was right. There are plenty people suffering for righteousness' sake. Those are the people that we're concerned about. Those people who have been treated unjustly. Those people who are innocent but incarcerated and convicted and incarcerated. Not because you decide to be a menace to society and harm everybody on your block and treat everybody like trash. So we
Wow.
have to understand the character of these individuals that are raising. You're raising children that don't believe they should have to respect other people. And
Wow.
then we'll sit down and say, well, why these people doing this? And I'm 50 years old. I ain't never known a man not in his house because the government said so. Unless he was on the run from the law. So
Wow.
let's
That's good.
understand that we've been blaming the system, and the system ain't laid down with nobody and made no babies. The system ain't done nothing that you didn't allow it to do. You had to
Come
get
on.
involved with that system first. There's some things that you had to participate in to wind up where you're at. And if you
Exactly.
fail to properly assess it, you're gonna miss the mark every single time.
Good
If
stuff.
you're ending up in a situation because of lack of education, you got to go get education, brother.
Get some education.
Ain't
Absolutely.
nobody gonna hire you and everybody else in the line know more than you. We know you think you know more than everybody else. We know that. We know you think ain't nobody teach you now. We know that. But guess who gonna get the job? And even if you don't want to work for nobody else, you can be an entrepreneur. Yeah, people, well, we need more vocational schools. Well, what are you doing with the opportunities for vocational schools that are available?
Exactly.
There's people sitting around talking about ain't no vocational schools when they all over the place.
Yep.
You're just not going to them. Some programs have to shut down because you don't participate.
Yep.
So instead of sitting here, woe is the Negro, you have to find what you desire and you have to pursue that. If you want to be a doctor, guess what? All you got to do is go to school, study,
Yeah.
study
They got a
hard,
place for you.
take advantage. You can be a doctor if you would like.
They got a place
Hell,
for
the
you.
president, it ain't like the president is the smartest person in the world. We elect complete fools to be president. You can see that type of thing is no longer interesting to young people. because too many people have broken these barriers for them to say, hey, maybe I can, when they see these rappers, maybe I can do that. So that's why they start doing that, because that's what they love and that's what they believe. So it's hard work and effort that's going to change it. You know, everybody, just because you got money and all these types of things, live in a nice house and a nice car, that don't mean racism is over.
It's not over.
Find out what it is that you can do. Maybe there's racism at your job that you can be working on. Maybe there's racism at your child's school. You know, I'm concerned about that because I don't want any roadblocks, even with my children. I don't want to hear about how you feel.
Good deal. Good deal.
I want to hear about what you're going to do to change the situation.
508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. 508-924-3521. Great to transition over to our topic for today. And Rico, a lot of times people try to hold on to who Rico used to be, what Rico used to do. But Rico has become of a certain age that he don't do those things anymore. The topic is, you knew me, but do you know me? You knew me back then. That's the project. But do you know me now? Because I've gone through a change. I've gone through a transition. Don't live back there where I used to be. Do you know me now? Rico, talk to me.
That sort of goes back to what I was saying earlier about evolution, but this is evolution in a different way. This is a personal, individual evolution. You know, earlier when I was speaking about evolution, I was talking about as far as technology and the way that you protest and fight. And I wanted to bring up the balance that was needed between the young and the old on that past conversation. But, you know, it was funny you bring up the knowing me, you know what I'm saying, the evolution of me, you know, the individual. Man, it's hard for me to get off that last topic and even think about what you just asked me.
Go ahead, say what's on your heart, brother, about the last topic, and we'll just move from there.
Well, on that first thing I got to address is we know it's been proven that men wasn't allowed to be in the household, and a lot of them had to leave because women needed that housing. We know that was an option, and people were made to make that decision. Some men took the option to say, "Well, baby, go ahead. I think we could work around this," and then some men didn't have a choice. That woman wanted those options, those benefits over that, but I'm going to leave that alone. Like I said, I know what I know and seen. With this evolution thing that I'm thinking about, we got to find balance. When we had the March on Washington, that was a lot of individual people that came together as a community and formed a community that day. Million Man March, the same thing. So I think, what we really have to understand that there has to be a balance between the youth and the older people. Even though we do have to look out for individualism, the youth have to also understand the value of community. That's why I was glad Kay said that about the village. The village is still very necessary. You got to have a common balance in both. When my first job I went to, somebody trained me on that job. Now, depending on how much I wanted to learn that job, how good I wanted to become, and depending on how good they trained me, that determined how good I was going to turn out. I had to train and learn from somebody that was already experienced before me. They didn't just put me on that job and say, "There it is, figure it out. Boom, you got it. And we need you to make production the first day." Somebody had to train me on the process. They had to train me on the system of how everything went so I could be better prepared to do it on my own. That's where the job of the older people come in. That's why we are all still necessary. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason why I do sort of believe that the youth can get us ahead, but like Curtis said, can they sustain it? Some of the things that they're doing, they have to understand that somebody has tried to achieve that before, but it was stomped out. And they got to find out what stomped that out. They got to find out what kept Marcus Garvey from doing what he wanted to do. They have to find out what all these other visionaries in the past, even not only just black people around the world in the past that wanted to make a change. Muammar Gaddafi, what he wanted to do with Libya. When you start finding out what happened when they tried to make that change, If you don't know your history, then you might make the same mistakes, even though technology has changed. You think you're doing something totally different, but you're doing something that's been done before. But I like this younger generation because I can remember 10 years ago talking to people about a new system of trade since the dollar was worthless. You see that every child born, I imagine the first people that were born under this currency system that we were on, it was hard for them to conform. But every child born after that, it was easy to them because that was the way things go. The way things go. So this younger generation is waking up out of that program. They waking up out of this illusion that we have been told that some things we just can't do. That's why some of them are their own entrepreneurs. So I talked about starting another system of currency and trade. You ain't gonna be able to do that. You ain't gonna be able to do that. The only people that can do that is a country. I'm like, nah, man. I said, you determine what's valuable. If you want to trade something with somebody, you trade something that you feel is of equal value, and that they feel like that's logical. Y'all can trade that from then on, even if it's chickens, eggs, whatever it is, and you can just save this little funky dollar and use it when you need to use it. So nah, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. That's the old heads talking. People my age. Guess what these young people did? These young people said cryptocurrency, NFTs. We gonna show you that we can find a way to operate and survive and trade without that little funky dollar that y'all are so dependent on. The little dollar that y'all think has value, but if you knew your history, you know it don't have a drop of value. It's just a note that says, I owe you this dollar.
And that's all it is.
That we need that balance. It's necessary for us to finally understand that we have to break down these categories in the community from old, young, black, white. That's why I do agree with none of that. It can't always be about race, but at the same time, we have to use our logic to know that we still are fighting that.
Good
so
deal.
It can't be ignored, because if the younger generation says all y'all talk about is race, I can remember 10 and 15 years ago when people were saying racism was over with. Then all of a sudden, Trayvon Martin happened. All of a sudden, Alton Sterling happened. Eric Garner happened. Then all of a sudden, you start seeing younger black people out here looking like people in the 60s. The same people that was talking about protesting was old and washed up. And the same people were saying racism is dead out here wearing George Floyd banners and stuff. They marching and talking about Black Lives Matter. I mean, there's a long gap in between this protesting and marching for racial justice. Been a big gap. Because for some reason, the elders, when we did drop the ball, and the ones that came before me dropped the ball, we felt like mission was accomplished. Just like George Bush said on that ship, mission accomplished. We thought mission was accomplished when the mission ain't never accomplished. This fight against racism and this fight for equal justice and human rights, it'll never end.
Good
but
deal.
we drop the ball because we think it end, and then we get comfortable and start participating in all these other distractions.
Good deal. Good deal. And it's so many different layers that we could go on that last topic. We got to transition over to our new topic. Curtis, I want to come to you. Kurt, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here, Ryan.
Curtis, they holding on to the old Curtis back in the day, holding on to that and won't let him go. And you say, yeah, you knew me back then, but do you know me now? Curtis, what do you say to that?
Well, you might want to go to somebody else, because I've kind of been an open book my whole life. So the folks that knew me back then, they actually knew that I would be who I am today. That's why they stood up for me. That's why they
but was there a transition in your life? Was there a transition? Because certainly the person that you was when you was 20, you're not that same person at whatever, I'm not gonna say your age, whatever age you are now.
No, it's okay. You can say my age. I'm proud of it, brother. I'm 49 years old. When I was 20, my actions did not dictate that I was the same person. My thoughts that I have now have always been my thoughts all my life, even when I was younger. Like, I think me and you had a conversation before, and I never really realized just how much into politics I was. I didn't realize it until, I got old enough to understand what that mindset was. So, but my overall strategic mind has been the same since I was, it has been in the same kind of module since I was, I want to say about 12 or 13. I mean, when I was 12 or 13, I was asking, why, like, I was blessed, man. I was blessed to grow up and live in the inner city ghetto, to live in a very rural part of the South, to live in a very wealthy upscale part of the North. So I was able to see things that most of our kids don't see. Most of our kids either see one or the other. But I was kind of able to have my foot in pretty much almost every walk of culture, you know what I mean, throughout this my American experience. So, when I was younger, I used to ask the questions, for example, like, why this school got this, but this school over here don't have that? What's going on in this city that they're providing all of this capital over here, but they're not providing any capital over there? So for me, man, it ain't much. Everybody knew growing up, man, that I was a keeper of secrets. Probably why I'm still alive. Everybody knew that I was a peacemaker. So a lot of times when my dudes wanted to reach out and touch somebody, they wouldn't even come and get me, because they knew, like, hey, if you go get Kurt 9 times out of 10 gonna know these dudes, and he gonna be cool with them, and then we can't, you know what I mean? So I've always been the person that you see today, that the heart that you know of today, that has always been my heart. I've never been one that, even when I was in the drug game, like that's why I got out, because some of the things I seen, I was like, yo, nah, like, I don't want no part in that. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I gotta live with that. So, I'm a horse from a different stall, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, just keeping it real, keeping it a buck. But I can understand now, there are parts of me that some people don't let go.
Exactly.
Like, some people, if I go to my hood, and I'm just passing through, a lot of times I get out, because I believe in keeping my feet to the street. I've had people walk up to me like, oh, you on? You know what I mean? In Baltimore, that
yeah. You know what that means? Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, like, I don't do that no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but I mean, I've been the same person, man.
Good deal.
I've been the same person right here. I swear to God, I've been the same person since I was about 12 or 13. It's when I came. You know what? Let me keep it real. No, I came into the reality of who I am the day that police stuck that 357 in my mouth. And I was young, but I was smart enough to know that it ain't one police on this police department walking around here with a 357. So he stuck his personal gun in my mouth with all his cronies around. A 16-year-old kid. And that's when I came to the realization that, what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander.
Good deal.
Because see, that would never happen in their community.
Exactly. Now we got a few more minutes. It's like 9:21. So everybody, let's go back to our 3 minute things so I can get as many people as I can within this conversation. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. They don't want to let go of who you used to be. You knew me, but do you know me now? Toya, talk to me.
Yeah, well, you know what, Raheem, I done learned how not to pay people no attention, man. You can't pay attention to your haters. Paying attention to them, you're gonna mess around and run into something.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, yes, ma'am.
With yourself. You know, Be real with yourself. We know what we're doing is the right thing and the wrong thing. Every person that lay down with somebody and know they ain't made no commitment to be husband and wife and work together, fight for them kids, know what they're doing. We're just taking it for granted, and we're willing to sacrifice that. And now we're sitting there acting like, oh, well, we don't know why things are going on. We keep getting distracted, and we keep forgetting that we ain't got God at the forefront no more. We want to do something different, and we're not utilizing the structure. Right? We're fighting for the wrong things. We're fighting to go in the opposite direction. We're not fighting to stay together. We're not taking the time to respect each other or ourselves to get to try to say, hey, this is the goal. This is what we're doing. We all doing what we want to do. There's no regard. The law at one time was we couldn't do that. And then we fought to do it. But now here we got the right to do it and doing the opposite. So I've learned that in order for me to survive and grow, it's not to pay attention to everybody else. See if I'm really operating in alignment with my maker. It's not about what nobody thinks. Am I operating in greatness for real? Because people can say I'm not, even if I am. Look what they said to Jesus. Look how they did him. And he was for real. Look what people said about him, what he was or what he wasn't. So with knowing that, you just got to be real with yourself, honey. You know if you changed or not. You know if you the same you or not. And it got nothing to do with nobody else say or think about you.
Okay, good deal. Good deal. At the end of the day, you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, you're mighty right. VP. They holding on to the old VP, brother. They won't let you be who you are today because they're trying to hold on to you yesterday. You knew me, but do you know me?
You're about to hear the Toya the T version of VP. I grew up a very people pleasing type person, always wanting to put a smile on people's face. And it took me a while to realize that I was tailored that way. Listen to my family and the stories they say. I was, not one of the right kids in this world, so they, hold me down with hugs and make sure I smiled. So I took that growing up, not realizing that people were taking advantage of me. And when people, and when you're a giver and not a taker, you don't know how to stop. So as I got away and ventured into the military and got to see the world around and seeing that the culture that I grew up in was not the same one that God has put me on this earth to be a part of, it became a point of tension between friends and family when I discovered that I could be way greater than who I am. And so now I found myself no longer entertained by them deciding to say, oh, he's a heavy drinker, or just keep it in 3 minutes.
Hey, what's up, bro? All right.
I no longer the people. There's an expiration date for everything.
Yes, absolutely.
So even just like it's a season for everything, it's an expiration date for everything. So if you can't agree to accept who I am now, then you expire, and I'll move on to a new product.
That's good. That's good. Captain Leonard, talk to me, man. Leonard, they want to hold on to who you used to be, brother. They know that Leonard used to be used to raise sand and do this and do all of that, but Leonard ain't that guy no more. You knew me, but do you know me? What do you say to that, Leonard?
I'm still the same person. Still the same person. I still stand for what is right. I think the only thing that's changed is I try not to embarrass people in public. I think that has changed because usually I get you where you're at. But I think that is the thing. I'm quieter. I prefer to observe more and listen and absorb things more. So I've never wanted to be popular or anything of that nature. I got the same friends I had as a little boy. So, I have a very low tolerance for BS. And I usually will go after you immediately to get you out of my space if you're negative. So I'm just, I would say I've become more of a beast now, because now I don't have any tolerance. I know what wrong look like. I don't want no part of it, and I don't want you around me.
Now let me ask you a question. Now, it's interesting that you said that. And I want to hop on it for a second. You say you become more of a beast. Now, is it a beast in a more of a physical type situation, or is it more of a mental type situation, or is there a difference?
Mentally. 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 It's easier for me to change your mind than to whip your behind now.
Wow.
I don't have to rely on anything physical anymore. So I think that is the difference. I don't have to assert myself physically.
So would you say, with that being said, we're gonna go. We got Cassandra's call back. I want to go to her and a couple other people. Would you say that you advanced, or was there an advancement in the time?
Well, I think I adapt better than most people. I don't fall to pieces.
Okay.
I mean, it could be rotten. Like I'm sure I've had some terrible days. I'm sure. I've had some horrible experiences, but I don't dwell on them because I don't need them.
Okay.
You know, it was a time I had to come through. I'm more of a person that believes in being present. So what you say about before, whatever, test it today. Try it today. I guarantee you, you're dealing with a much stronger person than you did before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. K with the E, and Cassandra coming to you next. Be on standby. Cassandra coming to you next. K with the E. What do you say to that, K? They want to hold on to what K used to do. How K used to do it. But you knew me, but do you know me now?
You said they want to hold on to how they used to be.
How you used to be. No, they want to hold on to how you used to be back in the day, the things that you used to do that you don't do anymore. You change, you transition to another person now, but they want to hold on to the old you. What do you say to them?
They'll be all right.
Lord.
They'll eventually catch on. Oh, she don't do that no more. She's serious. I don't gotta keep on writing on that big old chalkboard with the black marker. That's part of me, right? Part of me marker. I don't gotta do that. It just is what it is with me. That's something they're holding on to, not me. And if they pay attention, they'll see they holding on to something that don't even exist.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Cassandra, been waiting on your sister. Cassandra, they want to now. Cassandra used to be a cane raiser. You know, people back in the day they say something else. I see cane. And a fight in a minute. But Cassandra, that was the old you, and they knew you then. But now that if they come in your existence, in your presence now, you're not that same person. And not saying that you won't fight, but you're not that same person. Just jump up and fight just because you've advanced.
Yeah.
So you knew me.
Yeah,
you knew me.
But,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with Kay. I feel the same way Kay does. People, you have to look at me. If you look at me, you definitely know that I'm not the person that I used to be. Because like you said, I was a fighter. I mean, I would fight you in the drop of a hat. If you look at me crazy, I would start fighting. And I mean, my temperament was totally different. I think that's why a lot of people still think I'm aggressive, but I'm not aggressive. I'm assertive. And I keep saying that because especially for women, when we talk up and we stand up for ourselves, people take that as being aggressive. No, that's not. That's not being aggressive. I'm very assertive in the things that I believe in and the things that I stand for. And that does not make me aggressive at all. But I will, if it comes down to it, I'll still fight for what I believe in. That's physically, if it comes down to that. But I prefer now to use better methods, different methods.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Rico, the billboard of your life. How can it be? I'm not saying that. Can it be when you were at 20 years old, you could have written something on a billboard of your life in a permanent marker that won't go away in comparison in pencil that you can erase?
I mean, what you trying to say is it something that I did at that age that I won't be able to get rid of or live down or something like that? Oh
yes,
yeah, there's plenty of things. There's plenty of things. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of decisions I made that actually when I made those decisions, something in my gut told me that I was changing my life. That my life was going to go in a different direction. Once I made this decision, like the day that I decided, you know what, man, I ain't going back to college. I'm going to take a year off. I knew, Rico, you making a mistake. But I forced myself to believe, you know what I'm saying, man, you know what, man, you can make a little bit more money so it won't be so hard for you when you come back. Just take your little year off, man, and sell some dope. You know, and so that was actually when I was 18. That wasn't in my 20s, but even after 20, I can remember when I was totally against marijuana. I didn't start smoking until after my 20s when the chronic came out. See, it's funny, you know, you bring that up about knowing people. I was always the same as I am now. Always for the vulnerable. Always like to share. Wasn't as vocal, but didn't agree with a lot of stuff. So that meant I tolerated a lot of stuff. I would see stuff I didn't like and whatever, but I wouldn't probably say anything because I was so in love with peace and joy. You know that I mean, life was so beautiful that I hated to hear people crying and fighting. I always felt like, man, everybody should be happy. And if they didn't have, I'm gonna share it with them so they can experience this that I like. Hell, give a piece. This is good. Then I started seeing people were selfish. They didn't like to share. And I also got recognized and being known as somebody that was kind. Well, I guess after I turned about 17, I realized that people took that kindness for a weakness and just thought that, you know what, man, Rico, a good old guy. He just don't think no kind of negative ways and this and that. So I started having a different value system. I started seeing that people started respecting drug dealers and the bad guys and the ones that was always out here doing what they felt like doing instead of doing what was right. Then maybe I ought to start doing what I feel like doing too. Money over everything. I started getting that mindset. And so, you know, even though deep down inside, I still was that same person. And then I got a little more violent. And to this day, that's the part that I have to deal with. Now, when people find out that I'm more outspoken, where is this coming from? Well, the passion was always within me. Standing up for what's right and defending people that were vulnerable, people that were less than, mistreated, that was always within me. To want to share the root for the underdog. I remember my grandmama told me she always rooted for the underdog. I didn't realize that I did too. I always felt like, you know, hey, what would it feel like to be them? They should experience this too. So, you know, that motto that I live by, you treat me good, I treat you better. You treat me bad, I treat you worse. That still stands today. So they might be able to grab onto the old me because to this day, I still have to keep myself from pulling out some things and doing some crazy stuff when I'm in the wrong environment or when I feel like people just ain't gonna act right when you treating them right.
So you know how to pull it out there, get right.
Oh man, I listen. I have to call my daddy to this day and tell him, look, man, come and get this.
Yeah.
Come and get this and keep it. Just hold it for me. I'm still that revolutionary and I'm still that person. Like I said, you treat me good, I treat you better. You treat me bad, I treat you worse. And that part, if you think that part is out of me, then you thought you knew me.
Let me ask you this question, and we're gonna go to a couple other people as well. What do you think that say about you to know that when you're in that situation, you have to tell your dad to come and get this, hold it, don't give it back to me. Don't give. Is there an advancement that happened to you to get you to the point where okay, I'm about to do something. I have to be wise enough. I have to be wise enough to know that I get this away from me because if I have it, I'm gonna use it.
If I already feel like this, I'm big on principle. So it ain't a whole lot that you have to do to make me get to that point. So I find myself realizing that, Rico, if you ain't careful, you'll trick yourself off these streets over $50. Some people might think it was the $50. It wasn't the $50. It was the principle behind the fact that they thought they were supposed to be a certain way towards me. So I have to realize, okay, you know what? For your best benefit, my best benefit, not only mine, yours too, but for my best benefit, Daddy, what you need to do is you need to come on over here and get this thing. Take these bullets with you.
Yeah.
Because I got a feeling if I see these jokers and they've been too disrespectful,
it's gonna be another situation.
I mean, and it could be so many situations. It could be harassment. I mean, we still live in a point in time where some people might ride around with Confederate flags and try you, and they don't know where they live. I'm about principle, but I'm very extreme. So on that end, you treat me good, I treat you better. You treat me bad, I treat you worse. I ain't changed too much. You probably didn't know me, you just thought you did.
Yeah, exactly. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis. Toya, wake up and go to sleep. Toya with a T, wake up and go to sleep. Cassandra, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm grateful that people that knew me back then, knew me at home, even my name was different. If you called me CC, if you called me Cassandra in my hometown, nobody would know who you were talking about. If you said CC, everybody gonna know who you're talking about because that CC reputation and that person was known. You know what I'm saying? But thank God when I came to Atlanta, not only did, my whole attitude, it was years before that, but my whole way of living, my everything about me changed for the better. And I always had a heart for people. I'm like Rico. Even though I would hurt somebody, I couldn't stand to see people hurt. That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the way I was. I was out there. But like if I saw somebody doing something, oh man, I'm in there and I'm fighting it. The underdog. I'm trying to help the person. So, I'm glad and grateful for the change that I've seen, and the people around me know that song is sick. That I song. I know I've been changed. Man, let me tell you, I used to cry when I heard that song because the change was so drastic till, it would just make me cry just to even hear that song because I know that there has been a change.
And Cassandra, is it safe for me to assume that and you have the knowledge to know that change had nothing to do with you and you had no power over that change?
No. I mean, I had to go along with the change because remember, even God won't go against our will.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
The change that took place, I had to go along with what God was trying to do with me. He was trying to show me who I really was and not who the street said I was. So there was that difference, but only God could have changed me from the way I was to who I am today. Only God.
Absolutely. Curtis, talk to me, brother. You there?
Yeah, I'm right here, man.
I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. And the change, like Cassandra say, is a change that only God could provide you and show you. Have you walked their path?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, man, listen, man, I'm a recovering addict, so you know what I mean. I don't mind saying it. You know what I mean. So, although a lot of my life, a lot of my human existence, is just what it is. I am who I am. I still never let go of the reality that had God not saw fit to walk me into a black box and have a man by the name of Dr. Hugh Carey say to me, I'll never forget it. He said to me, if it is your intention to quit school, sit here in my office, and by the time the end of the day comes, I want you to explain to me and give me a good reason why you should quit. And if that reason is good enough, then I'll support it. He was an educator. You know what I mean? Everything that has happened to me has only happened because, one, there were a lot of women who was praying for me, a lot of women. And there was a lot of prayers that went up that told God, okay, now I need you to move your hand over here. The only reason I have accomplished the little things that I have accomplished is because of God. The only reason I can do what I do, Raheem, honestly, when I'm on stage, like I can feel his spirit move.
Come on.
I can feel it. It jolts my whole body. And a lot of times, because I'm in that God space, like I have to truly get to myself and decompress. Because to just think about just how awesome he not only has been in my life, but in those moments, how awesome he allows for my gift to shine and be a blessing to other people. It's awesome, man. I mean, it's an awesome feeling, man. You know, I'm doing a show right now, and man, I mean, I'm not hearing nothing but high accolades, and I'm hearing other actors, my peers, and for years I didn't get like peer. I'm not gonna say I didn't get peer acceptance, but I didn't get it from people that I didn't know. You know what I mean? But from my peers of people that I don't know come up and say, you know, as an actor, it is so it's such a blessing to watch you because you teach me something every week. And that's not me. I tell them all, man, that's not me. That's God. Don't give me that credit. That's God telling you that, okay, in this walk that you're going to do, in this profession that you're going to do, here's how you get it done.
Good deal.
Did you think of this? Or did you think of that? So, without God, man, like, man, I honestly can't tell you where I would be, who I would be, what I would be, and what my mindset would be because I honestly don't know. I don't want to know either.
Exactly. Captain Leonard, talk to me, brother. Let me ask you this question, Leonard. And this came to me while a few people was talking. Our topic is, you knew me, but do you know me? Yesterday's garbage have no value today. Is that a true statement?
Well, it does have some value. I would say everything that you have gone through and every experience that you had has value. It just depends on how you use it. You know, I had every opportunity to do everything that anybody else did.
Okay.
But I just didn't choose to do those things. I didn't choose those things a lot because I was raised a certain way. I had certain feelings of value about myself. And one, I saw the results of people who had made similar choices. So I did not idolize those people who were doing wrong. Those were not role models for me. Role models were people who were trying to do the right thing, those who were resisting temptation. Then I developed that practice of being satisfied by restraining myself and disciplining myself. You know, one of the first things came when you first learn about women and learning to restrain yourself. Just cause she wants you to have it don't mean it's good for you.
Come on.
Just cause she giving it to you don't make sure you should take it. That's why I ain't got babies all over the place. Because that was always in my mind. Because I knew that if I had a child, my entire life had to change.
Exactly.
So I chose not to do certain things because I seen so many people fail. I know how you become a bum. I know how you become a drug addict. I know all those things. The easiest thing in the world to do is wrong. That is the easiest thing to do.
Yes, sir.
Why not try not to do that thing? So one, I ain't been in everybody else's business because I've been challenging myself my entire life to try to be a better person, to try to make the right decisions, trying to treat people fairly. And sometimes did I always want to do it? No. There's a lot of times when I would rather have cut someone's throat than walk away. But I had to make the decision not to do that.
Exactly.
So it's not that I did not have the desire to do such things. I'm just glad that the Spirit of God moves the way the Spirit of God moves, and has always say, "Hey, no, don't go this way, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's you gonna dig a deeper hole. No, you shouldn't do this." I always had that. I've never been alone. I've always had the Spirit of God with me, even
That's
doing
good.
wrong. I chose to do it, and God was like, "Well, you know, but God, well, if you God, you do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm that bold." So I have a whole different challenge every day. You know, when I get up every morning, I have to be thankful every morning. I have to ask for forgiveness all the time. I have to constantly be in a prayerful mode, because at any given moment, you could change my mood. And if my mood change, I'll start to follow my mood. So I have to fight and have even a safeguard to say, though I walk through the valley.
That's good.
I
That's
have
good.
to have it. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not going to blame somebody else for what I do.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Phone lines are open. Give us a call. VP, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
I think, Raheem, what's happened to me, why people can't hold on to who I used to be, is because I've had a moment with God and Spirit where I'm all about the truth. And when you get to talk to me now, I want the introspective behind our conversations, behind why you're moving the way you are, and I talk about God. So I think the problem is when you this to this point now where you're persecuted, and although I have first world problems, when you live in this society and you're alienated because of what you believe, that's when things get a little more uglier. Because just like everybody else, or most people, I wasn't violent. I'm that type of person, like Curtis said, where you come around, you can't have beef, because I get along with everybody. I find a holistic approach to meeting people. So as I got older, which I'm not to be 40, right? That much younger than both of y'all. But you start to understand what you will tolerate and what you won't tolerate, and what you have time for and what God has time for. So I found myself no longer entertaining things or people who don't have nothing for me. Kind of how, like Leonard says all the time, if what you'll get used, if it's not bothering me, if it ain't gonna help me grow and it's gonna bring me down, why am I paying attention to it? So just like with this, me jumping on this is the new avenue for me. I wasn't one person. I wouldn't talk. I held what I needed to and wouldn't say. But I find this is a very promising and blissful approach of allowing that gift and understanding of where I've come from and where I'm going. And a lot of people that I grew up with wouldn't understand or accept that. They still want to see you as, like Bible say, want to see you as the carpenter's son.
Yes, sir.
They don't want to see you no different.
Absolutely. K with the E, what's on your heart, sis?
Just listening.
Okay.
And we got some young people out there. But like I said, it still comes from their upbringing.
Absolutely. Toya with the T, you back with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal. What's on your heart, sis?
No, nothing. Everybody has very valid points, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you something about the Lord. And when it comes to me getting inside myself and dealing with Him, I'm gonna tell you what He told me one day about all this stuff. And He said to me, He said, Toya, you didn't do the things you did because what happened to you, you did it because you chose to. And you can change all those situations. And if those are the things that you wanted to do, you were going to do them anything. They could have been perfect. They could have been whatever. But you made choices and consequences because that's what you wanted to do. And you live in it. And you dig yourself up, or you stay there. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes to. Because people have everything they should and still don't do the right thing.
Come on.
Don't have nothing, still don't do the right thing. Halfway between, still don't do the right thing. So it's up to us, again, as individuals. You know, people, again, you can be the perfect person on the outside, but what about your inside? What about the things people don't see and people don't catch? You know, so again, it's not about what people say. It's about you knowing the truth about you. And when you know the truth about you and know who you are walking and how you're walking, nothing nobody else says matters except for you and the person that you're made in the image of. And once you realize that, you'll walk with more responsibility and be more than man or woman to stand up and own the things that He delivered you from, because you understand what walking in His image is.
And only thing I can say to that is, amen. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I totally agree. I was, glad to hear her go that route, because I've been sitting there holding it in the whole time. Nobody really knows the next person. We have this term, and I might use it all the time. If you really knew the real me, the real me. See, what you see, this image, this facade that I give you because I want to make sure I don't come off aggressive. I don't come off as rude. But you don't really know how I truly feel deep inside. And so, that lets you know that if you feel that way, and you're only putting out this image because you want to make people feel good. You don't want to come off as mean or whatever, but truly you want to say this. You don't want to, you don't want to hurt their feelings. So you might tolerate some things, and you might hold some things in. Nobody really knows the real you, the true you. So, unless somebody can actually observe you enough to see your desires and see when you actually do get motivated and you start making an effort or what drives you, it's hard for them to really understand who you are, who knows you. Nobody really knows me. Nobody knows me at all. But one thing I do know is the thing that lets me know that there is a higher power is the fact that regardless of what anybody thought, my conscience and how I feel lets me know that there's a higher power. When I deal with my conscience and I go against it, I've had repercussions that let me know that there was a higher power. Sometimes I went to that higher power and said, well, look, I know this is wrong, what I'm fixing to do. But if you see me through this, I'll be forever grateful, and I'll deal with this on Judgment Day. And it'll happen. But the thing is, on the outside looking in, people will perceive you and think they know you. I know I had family members that thought me and my brother just had it like Ricky Schroeder. Like on Silver Spoon. They thought we had it good. They didn't. I had people that really thought that Rico was just this nice, kind, docile individual. Now these same people ask, man, why is Rico so violent? Why does he talk so extreme sometimes? I know where that violence came from. They don't know that in that home that you thought that when you told people we were rich and spoiled and that we just had it made, you didn't know that I was getting beaten and beard falling all over me and stuff. But the last time it happened, when I finally stood up for myself and I retaliated about 10 or 11, that started a violent streak where I wasn't going to be bullied no more. I don't care how big you was. If it took for me to pick up something to make you get conform, I'm going to pick up something. So now these people that thought they knew me in the past, they get so surprised when they find out that Rico did do this, or to be honest with you, sometimes they don't have a clue. Y'all only know what I tell you. But if something ever happened to me and then you went through my personal belongings, you start reading some newspapers, you'll be like, you know what, man, why Rico got all these old newspapers? You don't know they clippings of things that Rico did. Don't nobody know Rico did it. So just because you think you know somebody, they only giving you what they want you to see because they don't want to hurt your feelings or they don't want you to suspect anything that might be true about them or might be false, might be a misperception. But I always realize you might not really know these people like you think they do. Everybody has something going on in here, and you don't know what's going on in here and in that heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What they've gone through either. What they've gone through, because what they've gone through really does determine why and how they made the choices they made.
Exactly. Exactly. Leonard, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
It's important for people to always, I think, put their best foot forward. And too many times we deal with people that are into deception. It takes a minute. I guess I'm a little bit more comfortable with myself than most people are with themselves, because I don't put on no airs or whatever. Pretty much it is what it is. What I think surprises people is what they believe to be true is not always true. So that's why it takes people to get to know one another. You get to know one another. You just don't see somebody and make assumptions about them.
Yeah.
You know, because one, we probably have had some murderers on here.
Yep.
But that ain't how you start off a conversation. That may not be something I need to know about you.
Yeah.
But if I did wanted to know and I sat down with you, I could have a more intimate conversation with you. And I guarantee you'll say, okay, I understand. Like, say, for instance, like I always mention my man Badger, who reached out. Now, he said, you know what? You're very different than I thought you were. You know? And I was like, well, I don't think it's that I'm very different. It's that we're having an intimate conversation now. This is a personal conversation between me and you.
Yeah.
I'm still the same person, but this is I take into consideration who you are, the humanity of you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to impose on people. You know how you have some people, they just want to impose on you and who they are and this, that, or the other, and I'm this and I'm that. And you know, you say, okay, that's not a person that I really want to get to know anymore. Because you're not even putting your best foot forward. Because you come across a certain way that leads me not to really want to hear what else you have to say. So a lot of people believe that I am very aggressive. I'm assertive, as Sister Cassandra would say. I'm assertive.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
I'm a person interested in what another person has to say. And you know, if we're gonna have a conversation, I want you to be responsible for the words coming out of your mouth. So, you know, I take that into consideration. You could, like my sons, people will say, well, they have a lot of manners. Because they were raised that way. I don't know why your kids don't have manners. Maybe you didn't teach them. Or maybe you taught them it wasn't necessary to have manners.
Wow.
But you know, I wouldn't sit here and say, oh, they gonna do this, they ain't gonna do that. I know exactly, because I don't, because they're human beings too. They think a certain way. You know, the best I can do, like I say, as a father, my role is to facilitate their best decisions. We can have a completely loving relationship, but I'm your father, not your friend.
Exactly.
You know, I have a responsibility to behave a certain way.
Okay. We are about to get out of here for them. I'm gonna go to Cassandra, and while I pull up this clip, I'm gonna play this clip real quickly. I want y'all to see this. But Cassandra, what's on your heart, real quickly?
Yeah, you know, what Leonard just struck something in me when he said about him and Badger having a conversation. You don't know me unless you are willing, and I think that's the problem with our society and the wide divide that we have. You lump everybody together, all black people, boom, all white people, boom, all Jewish people, boom. How do you live like that? Because all black people are not a certain way, all Jewish people are not. I like to see people based on the merit of who they show me that they are. That's how we should see people. Let me see, you show me who you are by the things that you do and the things that you say.
Yes.
That's how you should see a person. But if you never take a time to listen to me or to hear anything. I've sat down with a white supremacist before, and literally talked. At first, it was hostile because I knew that he hated me and didn't even know me. He knew that I had a problem with him because he hated me. But once we sat down and talked, I could see his defense like dropping, and mine was dropping as well. You cannot lump all people together. We have to get to know people on an individual basis to see who they really are.
Exactly. That's good. I see Rico shaking his head. Yes, Rico, give me a quick version. We're going to play this clip real quick. What's on your heart?
That's very true what she said, man. I mean, you can't let the eyes play a trick on you. You have to sit down and talk to people, get to know them, to try to understand them before you just judge them off of what they did and what they, or what they're going through. Some children are not responsible for the atmosphere that they're in. They got parents that probably put them in that situation or neglected them and left them in that situation. The image, man, and it's certain thing. It's so funny because in one city, so many different people can have an image of you. Like you had this certain people in this group of people in my family that thought me and my brother were rich and spoiled. But then the people that knew me that where I went to school at when I lived with my grandmother thought I was just forgotten about. They didn't even know my mom or daddy. Some of them knew my daddy, but they didn't know my mom. They didn't know she was on dope and she lived in another state. The only thing they knew was Rico lived with his grandmother. He wear clothes from trade day, and he doesn't have everything that everybody else has. Because my parents that were doing good were still neglecting me. They neglected me after I went to my grandmother's house. So you had certain people that judged me as poverty level. And then when you go to school and you looked at as poverty level, some of the teachers look at you as less intelligent. They don't like to deal with this certain way. So it took certain teachers that finally sit down and be like, man, this man's smart. But they thought I was dumb and poor. Certain jobs I went to, you have to sit down because of the facade, the image that I had, long braids and the big gold chain. Man, did you graduate high school? Man, if you don't sit down somewhere, did I graduate? I own high school. So, people look at you and they try to judge you without getting to know you. White, black, she said that about the race thing. Man, that was so deep what she said, because I've had conversations with people that felt certain ways toward black people. And after I talked to them, man, I would be more confused. Because they some of the things that they said, I knew where they were coming from. And I somewhat respected them because I knew where they stood. I got a more sincere picture of what they believed in. They didn't believe in black people and white people dating, and you weren't gonna change their mind. And I can still talk to these people. So it's like, you really have to get to know people. You really have to sit down and get to know people. Don't judge it by the image.
Absolutely. We're going to play this clip. I want to play this clip for you all. We got a new game show, y'all. We got a new game show called Brain Cramps. Got a new game show called Brain Cramps. 5 questions. You can actually win cash money. So let me play the clip for you, and I want you all to take a look at it and tell me what you think. Let me go solo here. Bam. There we go. And play. Give me some volume. Let's get out of that one and go back here and go back to the screen right here. Brain cramps. Don't let it give you brain cramps. What it is and it's real short little commercial. But we got 5 questions. You answer the 5 questions. If you get the 5 questions right, we cash out your money. If you get 3 questions right, you win money. If you get 3 questions right, you win money. 3, 4, and 5. Each one you get different amounts of money. So Rico, you was actually you was a part of it the first episode. Tell me what you thought about it.
It was pretty good, man. Y'all join in, participate, and look, don't cheat. I started to rob them. I almost robbed them. I said, I ain't gonna do them like that. This is my homeboy. I ain't gonna cheat. Don't cheat. Participate. Have some good, earnest fun. Earnest fun.
Yes. It's good. And I want all y'all, if y'all are available, to make yourself available, man, to be contestants on the show. Like I said, it's only 5 questions. Don't take a long time. and you have a good time. Even if you win money or not, you will have a good time. You'll definitely enjoy it.
And you'll learn something in the process.
Exactly. What you say, Toya?
That's Kay. You sent it to me in my messenger. How do you get on it?
Well, I sent you the link. You had to come on. It's on the video side, so you have to come on the video side. Okay. And
when is the game?
We're thinking about possibly doing one this evening. We're thinking about doing one this evening, but I know I'm gonna do another one Friday. But I'm thinking about doing one today around 6 o'clock. I'm thinking about doing another episode. And so if y'all are available, like I said, it's only 5 questions. Don't take a long time. Come on, send me a message. Let me know that I want to do the show today, and I'll pull you in, send you the link, and you have a good time. Huh?
This is Kay. Pull me in. I'm telling you now.
Okay, got you.
You gotta tell her you gotta tell her the prize system too. How your prize system works.
Okay, well, like I said, you're not gonna we're not gonna make you rich now. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, we're not gonna make you rich. But if you get 3 questions right, you win $5. You get 4 questions, you win 10. If you get all 5 questions, we cash out you $20 on the spot.
That's cool.
Okay, so we're looking for Leonard to be on there this evening too. I didn't say that out loud though, but we're looking for Leonard to be on there this evening too. So I'm just saying what I'm saying. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
If you missed today's show and would like to see it in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Captain Leonard, your prayers out?
Yes. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you once again for this opportunity to speak to others from a believer's point of view. We pray peace and blessings for everyone that has joined in and participated and those that are listening. We definitely extend an invitation to anyone who wants to know more about DKM Ministries and its focus on Christian broadcasting and programming. These are the blessings we have. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Captain Leonard, can I look for you this evening, sir?
You can look.
Oh, Lord.
What time? I missed the time.
We're probably going to do it at 6 o'clock.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. So we got 2 people already. So anybody else that want to be on, hold on. Let me see. Can I pull Miss Cassandra Green? Miss Cassandra Green, should I look for you?
Nope, I'm not smart enough to answer 5 questions. I'm not smart enough.
Hey, Cassandra, I'll help you out. I'll have to get in your inbox and see you some out.
Okay. I'm like, come on, hit me up. But I'm just saying ahead of time. Okay. I'm not smarter than a 5th grader.
Oh Lord. Okay, I got I got different things coming on here. Okay, good. We got that. Absolutely.
Cassandra, I ain't neither, but I'm gonna act like I am.
Uh-oh.
All right, KK. If you're willing to try, I'm willing to try.
Right.
Good deal. So we got 3 contestants already. So hold on. What my sister Toya with a T? Toya with a T. Where you at?
Yeah, you know me right here. You know I always think moving, but you said what time?
6 o'clock.
I'll try. Send me a link. I'll try if I'm available. Okay.
Got you. Let me see. VP.
6 o'clock.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Did I hear another voice?
I'm always up for a challenge.
Okay, we got VP in there. Hey, is that Friday? Did I hear Friday?
Yeah, she's back in here.
Okay, actually, is she available for?
Good morning.
Good morning, young lady. Are you available for a show this evening?
Sure.
A game show.
Okay.
See, look at that, Rico. Rico, we already got you in there. You know that, right?
Oh, you're gonna let me come back? You gonna let me come back on the second one?
Yes, sir. You already said you're just gonna do it next time we do it. So I already had you. I had you inked in already, brother. So we good to go. We good to get on that.
We got to let them know that they get 1 pass on the question and they get 1 lifeline.
That's it. And like I say, now I had to read back. My wife looked at it, man. She said, "Look here, only give them 10 seconds to answer the question." I said, "Huh?" She said, "Only give them 10 seconds." She said, "Because you're giving them too much time. You're talking." She said, "Nope. They're gonna look it up and they answer right off of Google." She said, "Give them 10 seconds. When you get finished." She said, "My wife." She told me that. She said, "By the time you get finished answering that question, they got 10 seconds. If they don't answer within 10 seconds, they lost. They missed that question. I was like,
I
good
ain't gonna
Lord.
lie. I had all the answers the other night. I said, I ain't gonna do them like that. I got them. I said, I ain't gonna do them like that. I can give everybody all the answers. I said, I ain't gonna run his pockets. He be cash apping everybody that night.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Exactly. Yeah, she told me though. She said, look, only give him. She looked at the show. She said, look, only give him 10 seconds. She said, by the time you finish your last word.
Inbox me with some answers. Talking about you had all the answers.
Huh? The way we had it set up is a variety of different topics. We had 150 questions and let everybody pick a number, and whatever that number was, I asked that question. So we had 150 questions right before me. Okay. So I don't know, the topic. I don't know. There's no particular topic. It's based on what question what number you pick. And some are very hard. Some of the questions are very hard. Some of them are very easy. And so it's based on your number. It's based on what number you pick. But like
it's
I said,
it's like playing Trivia Pursuit.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And so I don't know what the category is, the topic or something like that. I can't say because I don't know what numbers you're gonna pick. But it's fun.
Trickery. All right.
No, I'm gonna have to clean up so I can get on camera.
Yes, sir. Got to. But listen, we're going to get out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for joining us. More than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:13. You're about to exit the Morning Glow, but before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please stay blessed.